Okay, this is a recording. I'm using Zoom to record this session. Now I'm going to see if I can share the screen with you. Okay, hopefully at this point you can see my whole screen. Let me minimize this part. Okay, first off, I want to show you something about Dragon Bar. There's your Dragon Bar, okay? And you notice how it takes up a lot of room. However, when I click somewhere else, you notice how it minimizes, okay? Now, if yours is supposed to do that by default, I believe, but in case yours doesn't, you can go up to it, maximize it like this, and then go to Dragon Bar and click on, see how mine is checked. If that's not checked, then check it. See, now if I uncheck that, like this now I click somewhere else, it stays there. So go make sure that this auto collapse is checked. Now see how that moves around or minimizes, okay? If you want to move this thing off to the side, which I'd probably recommend, just click your cursor up here, like towards the middle, top of everything. I'm holding down with my left mouse button. Okay, now I'm releasing the left mouse button. Now you notice how it stays over to the side, you know, and that's the same technique you use for, I can drag any icon around the same way. You left click, hold the left button down, move around, okay? So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. Next thing is how to organize your Microsoft Office folders and make sure you know where they all are also. If you go down to the, see, I'm going down the lower left part of my computer screen. Now, you're running Windows 10, so it's not going to look quite like this, but maybe before by going down here and then right clicking, and you were able to get to Windows Explorer, okay? In my case here, when I right click, I don't see that, okay? When I right down here and right click, I see File Explorer, okay? And which for you would be Windows Explorer. I believe they just changed the name when they went to Windows 10. So we're going to bring up, in your case, Windows Explorer. And notice now I have a panel on the left over here and a panel on the right. The right is more details. In other words, I click on anything here and that shows up in detail on the right. For example, we're looking at Dropbox here, and this is the rec-up memos where all the memos that we're dropping in here go. By the way, when you want to see the full file name, like you can't see it all here, if you go up here, see how those arrows, when I click on this line right here and go way up to the top, I see those double arrows. I click on that, now it goes out to whatever length it has to be to show the whole file name, okay? Now what I'm going to do is show you how to organize your Office 95. That's all stored on OneDrive, which is basically their cloud drive, okay, for Microsoft. Click on that, and now you see the files I have stored here and the folders I have here. In my case, here's my book, where I have the stuff that goes in my book. I have my main document here. And as you can see in my main document here, I have different settings, but this is the main part of my book. I have 24 pages, 7,600 words. I figured that out. It's like 325 words per page. And that's what I have in my main. Close that up. I have different drills that I use for learning writing, just for getting writing ideas. This document is a research thing about all the lighthouses. Here's an outline of my book. Here's some writing resources that I have. And the main character has a career. You're supposed to, when you're writing a character, write their whole history out. And I've done that with this one. But anyway, you can see how my book is kind of organized here. And if you look up here at this bar right here, you can see this is OneDrive and this is the folder I'm on off of it. If I want to go back up, see this arrow pointing up? Now I'm back up to OneDrive and I can see everything. So you probably, it sounds like you have this somewhat organized, but in case you don't, I'll do a quick overview how to do it. If I go out, I'm on OneDrive, I go out here to the main level, which is right off of OneDrive, right click, go to new, and I can say folder, and we'll say whatever your main book is, we'll call it Donovan Book of History 1, okay? And by the way, you can put, I think it's like 256 characters. You can make the titles of these or files about as big as you want. Now in there, we're going to have, we can go, once again, I clicked on, let me go back up so I don't, it's nice to do things without telling you. I go to the folder I just created right here, click on that. There's nothing in it yet, but I can right click out here in the middle of the space, go down to new again, and I'm going to put folder inside that. And this could be chapter 1, or however you want to organize it. Click on new again, chapter 2, okay. And then inside chapter 1, let's say this is where I want my first tape to go that you did on the beach, okay? So we're gonna go now and put one of your tapes into that. So once again, all we gotta do, that's the nice thing about leaving this bar. I recommend always having this up when you're using it. Leaving this open, I go over here, excuse me, click on tools. I go down to transcribe recording. Now there's some settings here, which I'll go over with you some other time, but I suggest leaving them as is. And I'm assuming yours is like mine. This was the default for me, which uses Dragon Pad, and it takes dictation commands, plus the scratch this, that, and resume with, and I'll tell you about those some other time. But basically all you need to know is you can use basic dictation commands like I mentioned to you before, like new line, new paragraph, comma, period, and you just say that when you're recording, you say, then he came to the end of the road, period. I call this book, comma, whatever I could think of, comma, blah, 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 period. New line or new paragraph. So you just throw those in and it actually works. I tried it. So anyway, but I think for now you can just leave these as they are here, their default. You click on next, and here's where you browse to find the file name. So you click on browse to locate file. Once you've found your rec-up memos, it'll come back to it, but we'll go up again. Here you can see how I can navigate through my computer file. See this up arrow? That puts me in a Dropbox. Okay, and this is the same thing we were looking at before. You see your whole hard drive. So you just come down here, you find Dropbox, you go out to Dropbox, find rec-up memos, and here they all are. One cool thing you'll notice here, when I highlight this, it shows me now the size of the file, but the length of it is 17 seconds long. Notice that? This one's 15 seconds long. Okay, we'll take, here's one that's 50 seconds long. I think this may be my longest one since mine are all just gonna test stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna highlight that, say open. You notice how that puts it into the file name, okay? Now all I gotta do is click on transcribe. Now it opens up Dragon Pad automatically and starts transcribing. Now I didn't use anything like new paragraph or period or anything in this, so it just does it on its own, okay? Now, what I want to do now is get this into the Windows file that I wanted to create for this. So what you do, see your cursor is right in here already. You leave your cursor there, go up to it, says edit, click on edit. On the drop down, you see select all, or you could type Control and A at the same time, okay? So that highlights the entire thing. In your case, if you have 10 minutes or something, it'll be pages of it. Then you click on edit, and now you do cut. You don't do copy, you do cut because you want to get it out of here. So otherwise, when you put your next tape here, it'll go after it. You don't want to replay. You don't want to do that. So you say cut. Now you notice how it's all gone. Okay. But it's in my clipboard. So now I can go back to the Windows. Let me get out of there. I want to go back to here, chapter 1. Remember, we were in chapter 1. Okay, from here, and just so I review how we got here, remember we negotiated this. We went File Explorer, found this, went into your name of your book, and then the chapter. Okay, so now we're in chapter 1. I'm going to right-click out here and come down here. Once again, I'm going to new, only this time, instead of saying a folder like I did before, creating the book name and chapter name, I'm going to come down here and go to Microsoft Word document. Click on that. Now you notice it's all set up there, so I can name this file, which is in chapter 1, anything I want. And this, once again, you can be, I think, 255 characters, so you can name it as whatever you want. So I'll say my first tape in chapter 1 about U.S. policy, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So now it created that file name in chapter 1. Now I go here and I double click on it. That opens it up. Okay. My cursor is right there. I'm inside this. You notice auto save is on. That means I'm going straight to the cloud. Okay. And the name of my chapter is up here. My cursor is right here. Now I'm just going to hold down the control button, hit the V. V is in victory, and it puts it in there. So there you have it. Your first tape is already in there. Now let's say we're going to bring in more to this chapter. You know, we could go out and put the next thing in chapter 2, but let's say I'm going to continue here. You can actually go and type in here too. You can come in here and say, you know, start chapter 1, and you could even edit it up, you know, say I want to have this be a new paragraph. I think I might have had auto comma turned on when I did this because it does have some stuff in it. Whatever I want to do here, new line. So you can do a little editing if you want at this time as you clean it up. And now I'll put more from next tape. This will be just a kind of a note to myself when I'm editing this again. So now I'm going to put the next tape right below it, because this time, let's say you happen to want this to go with this chapter. So I go back up here, click once again on the dragon bar, tools, transcribe recording. I leave everything the same, go to next, browse. Now I'm going to pick another file here. Let's go for something a little bigger. See, I'm looking at the size of it, 3 seconds. I did a lot. Here's 20 seconds. We'll do that one. Okay, I just double click. You can either double click it or highlight it and click open. Okay, now I click on transcribe. Remember, I cleared this because I did a cut here. Same thing now, I'm doing edit, select all. And once again, this was fast because it's only 20-second tape. If you have something longer, it may be pages and it may take a little longer to transcribe. But I did edit, select all there. Now I'm going to do edit, cut. Cleans out Dragon Pad. Okay. Now, when I get out here, I'm already back in the file. I'm going to do a Control V. Hold down the Control key, hit V. V as in Victor. See it goes right there. So you can move right through your tapes this way. Now, let's say I don't want that there. Control Z, by the way, undoes. It's an undo key. Hold down Control, hit Z. Let's say I didn't want that. Let's say I wanted it in my new chapter. Once again, to navigate the File Explorer, it has these arrows. See, I want to go up. I'm down here in chapter 1. Now I want to go up to a directory level where I can see both chapters. If I go up another level, I actually see the book. we want this to go in chapter 2. So we got into chapter 2. Down here, do new Microsoft Word document. Once again, we can name it, I'm going to say Japan history. For some reason, that's the name of this one, okay? Status tells me it's ready. Go here, do Control V as in victory, okay? That's how how you can move stuff wherever you want within your book. So, and when you're done, you just close out of these. Everything's saved automatically. And you're done with your operation. Now, like I said, I would just leave this dragon bar up here, leave it minimized. And like I said, you can move it wherever you want. I'll leave mine off to the side and minimized. But I thought that might be helpful for you.